In this lesson, we will talk about a particular kind of public policy aimed at achieving real equality between men and women, or for historically discriminated minority groups, the so-called special measures, also referred to as affirmative action or positive action. After an overview of gender equality in the 21st century, we will define some basic concepts and address the debate around special measures. In 2010, an international conference reviewing the platform for action agreed upon at the 1995 Beijing World Conference on Women concluded that as of the first decade of the 21st century, no country in the entire world had yet achieved a complete de jure and de facto equality between men and women. More recently, in Progress of the World's Women 2015-2016, UN Women informs that although formal equality between men and women has been widely recognized worldwide, even enshrined in the constitution of 143 countries, there are still many challenges to secure a de facto equality between genders. For one, after decades of painstaking efforts to enter the workplace, today women receive approximately 24% less pay than men for equal work. Also, as mentioned in a previous lesson, by 2015, there were only 19 female heads of state in the world, whereas female representatives account just for 22% of the overall political participation in the planet. This is perhaps the most renowned notion in this field. Coined in 1935, the phrase affirmative action gained acceptance during the 1960s in the United States due to the civil rights movement and several court rulings. The U.S. Commission on Civil Rights defines affirmative action as a term that, in a broad sense, encompasses any measure beyond simple termination of a discriminatory practice adopted to correct or compensate for past or present discrimination or to prevent discrimination from recurring in the future. The term has been heavily debated. Alternative expressions have been proposed. However, the phrase has gained acceptance beyond the United States. For instance, the 2008 Constitution of Ecuador includes the notion of affirmative action in its Articles 11 and 65 regarding real equality and participation of discriminated sectors, respectively. Due to the controversial nature of the notion of affirmative action, as well as to its American origin, European countries prefer to use the term positive action to refer to public policies to redress unfair inequalities. The UN Human Rights Committee defined discrimination in its General Comment 18 as any distinction based on grounds such as race or sex and having the purpose or effect of nullifying or impairing the recognition, enjoyment, or exercise of rights by all persons. The UN Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination stated in its General Recommendation 32 that the term positive discrimination is a contradictio in terminis and should be avoided, thus preferring the concept of special measures. The Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW, expressly refers to special measures in its Article 4, as measures aimed at accelerating de facto equality between men and women, which shall be discontinued when the objectives of equality of opportunity and treatment have been achieved. In its General Recommendation 25, the CEDAW Committee declares that the object and purpose of the treaty is to achieve both de jure and de facto equality between men and women. Whereas the first is often characterized as a merely formal equality, de facto equality amounts to a substantive equality, requiring equality of results beyond formal equality and equality of opportunities. Special measures are the means through which such substantive equality can be obtained. Consequently, UN Women proposes 3 ways to achieving it. First, redressing socioeconomic disadvantage. Second, addressing stereotyping, stigma, and violence. And thirdly, strengthening female agency, voice, and participation. The CEDAW Committee believes these measures may include legislative, executive, administrative, and other regulatory instruments, policies, and practices. The Asian Development Bank points as examples thereof equal employment contracts, quotas, scholarships, exclusive benefits, subsidies, etc. The measures are deemed special because they aim at specific goals, not due to a presumed weakness of women. They are temporary inasmuch as they are bound to be discontinued once their goal has been fulfilled, their duration being determined by their functional performance. Yet, Article 4 also includes special measures of a permanent nature, aimed at protecting maternity as a natural potentiality of women only. Special measures can be characterized as soft if they only try to enhance equality of opportunity arrangements without ensuring results for women, or hard if they guarantee results for women, as in quotas for female parliamentary representation. The CEDAW Committee calls on states to include special measures in their constitutions and legislation, comprising the public and private sectors. Such measures may be observed in the constitutions of Canada, India, and Pakistan, among others. Indirect discrimination takes place whenever laws, policies, or programs that are based on a seemingly gender-neutral criteria have in their actual effect a detrimental impact on women. Alternatively, reverse discrimination can be defined as discrimination properly so called, only this time wielded against historically privileged groups. Whether under the name of affirmative action, positive action, or special measures, since their inception, these policies have been subject to several criticisms. The foremost of them are, first, that special measures convey a message of assistance and victimization of their beneficiaries, perpetuating stereotypes. Second, that after decades, their efficacy still remains to be proven. Third, that they are inefficient as they entail hiring underqualified persons, thus squandering the talents of those not benefited by them. And fourth, that they constitute reverse discrimination against non-beneficiaries. The last of these objections may be answered saying that were it not for a historical discrimination, the purportedly displaced candidates for the sake of affirmative action would have had to compete against a broader field of candidates. Several decisions by the Supreme Court of the United States or by the Supreme Court of various states of the Union from 1978 on have upheld affirmative action programs, providing they do not establish fixed quotas so as to protect the rights of historically underprivileged collectives and the overarching value of diversity. CEDAW's Article 4 expressly qualifies special measures as non-discriminatory. As stated by the CEDAW Committee, the application of temporary special measures in accordance with the Convention is one of the means to realize de facto or substantive equality for women, rather than an exception to the norms of non-discrimination and equality. Some authors even consider special measures to be an application of the duty of states to guarantee human rights. Further, the Human Rights Committee deems that objective and reasonable differentiations or non-identical treatment aiming at a legitimate purpose are not discriminatory. Accordingly, the Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination and the Inter-American Court of Human Rights hold that special measures should be appropriate, legitimate, necessary in a democratic society, fair, proportionate, and temporary. Thank you for watching this lesson. Please visit mookchile.com and watch our next class.